knowing that D.L. Hughley was filming ComicView at the Normandy Casino, and my aunt lived in Gardena. It was right down the street from. It was kind of like, and then the way he dressed and the way he talked and the things he did and said, he was easy. It was easy to identify with that, and so that always set in me, like where I would go into a situation, not necessarily saying, "Oh, I want to be a comedian," but just I would just go into situations and kind of read the room and pick things to say to relate to that everybody could kind of laugh at or chuckle at, just to kind of ease it. And once I took my first public speaking class, and then it really just kind of like confirmed some things for me, and then doing the paper. And that's when I was just kind of like, all right, I got to get on. I got to try it. Like, I have to try it. Like, I got to see, just to see. And when I did it, and knowing I was in a room full of strangers, and everybody was able to laugh at what I was saying, it kind of just like, all right, I think if I really put my head down, I can do this.
Okay.
And then I was I was probably like in my late 20s at the time. And music was a young man's game. So it just kind of started getting to a point where I wasn't necessarily losing interest in music, but it was like, okay, I'd done that for so long, and I attempted for so long to get to a certain point. And, for whatever reason, it was, I was where I was. And so it was just kind of like, this is something that I can do locally with doing comedy. I can kind of make my own way. I don't have to necessarily depend on, if this manager is, or this record company this, or if this exec this or whatever, I ain't got to present a demo kind of thing. I can just kind of like, network and walk up and talk to people. And even if I needed to get my own mic and start somewhere, it kind of sparked that independence for me, like to where I didn't have that in music. In music, it was like, oh, get a deal, get a deal, get a deal. When it came to comedy, it was like everything was kind of like in-house, so I could just, make my way at it. And that's, so it was like, I want to say like maybe 6 months after my first time, I was just kind of like, I really want to go in on this.
Okay.
But I always had that, like I said, growing up with my mom, that responsibility to family. I had kids at this point, so I wasn't gonna. And I don't want this to. Well, no, it doesn't matter how it sounds.
It's okay.
Me,
Go
right?
ahead.
So I just wasn't gonna have. I wasn't gonna have my family suffer or sacrifice their quality of life just for me to wholly and only pursue a dream that I'm having.
Gotcha. It'd be selfish of you and
Right.
irresponsible.
Right, exactly. So therefore, I've always made sure, like, hey, I got to have a job, and that has to be the priority. Family is priority. Like, and I mean, regardless I had so many people in my ear, even during music, it was like, oh, well, you can't, just because you have kids, you could still come out and do this and do that. But I'm like, okay, but if I'm out there doing this and doing that, who's there with who's there fathering the kids? You know what I mean? Like, yes, that's something I've never really understood about men, where you can have kids and just be gone.
Yeah,
like
forever.
It doesn't, like it just, like, it's not even I mean, I understand getting out, hustling, making something, and making sure we getting back because I'm out here providing, and that's one thing. But I mean, like, just to like completely, in my opinion, disregard their life and your responsibility to them. So I just never wanted. I always wanted to reassure my family that that's they were always going to be the priority.